It's all over the screen.
It's all over the screen. Just like the Something Objective Stupid podcast when you hit like and subscribe. It's all over your screen.
It's all over your screen, and that's why you should do it. Anyway, guys, welcome to the next...
Welcome back. Are we starting?
I don't know, man.
No.
Are we starting with...
Aiden, I'll kill you. I'll kill you, Aiden. I'll kill you. That's our classic start. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. That's
really stupid.
Let's see if we can make Emmett really pissed off again this episode.
It's really not that hard. I'm gonna be completely honest. I got a really low floor for only you guys. You and Joey really. You don't grind my gears, Aiden and Joey. Anyways,
we really grind your gears.
Especially when you're wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, especially when you're wrong, it's really easy to make you mad when you're just objectively wrong about something.
This is not the Something Objectively Wrong podcast. This is a different one.
Yeah, because
if it was, you'd be the only host.
Part of this. Yeah.
We are a minute in. Please. Give me a break.
All right. Okay, yeah, you shouldn't get too tilted today because we're going to be talking about sports today. As you can tell, we are all very jacked and super sporty guys.
Oh no!
Oh no! You can't see all this muscle hiding under my sweater, but I'm like, hey, I'm recording. You can't be in here right now. I'm busy. I'm serious. That was Stevenson, the once a year Stevenson cameo.
But I wanted to talk about this week. A special shout out to ChatGPT for helping me write this episode.
It's true. He's actually really good at this kind of stuff.
He is. I just wanted to talk about sports growing up. What is a sport? Should you enroll your kids in sport? And all that jazz. You know, so I think I want to say, like, as being Canadian, we kind of have to touch on hockey first, right?
Yes. Big fan of hockey.
Now, I know, Joey, that, yeah, you don't have much flair to the sport because I took you out to the local pond one time and you just stood on the ice and chatted to someone, chatted to Emmett the entire time.
But that's
while I
how
was
you
skating
start,
around.
okay? That's how you start.
He didn't have skates on.
I didn't have skates on. I do own a pair of skates, and skating's okay. Problem is, I don't like hockey. I don't like the appeal of hockey. I don't really care for running into people and then trying to control the puck with your stick and everything like that and skating.
Do you like maple syrup? Do you like poutine? Or are you Canadian at this point?
I kind of got to agree with Joey. Out of all of the sports that I can think of, hockey is one of the weird ones. Like, it's so weird. You put little blades on your feet. You have to play it on slippery ice. You can only use a stick to touch the heavy-ass puck. If you're an alien coming down from space, and you're coming to see what humans
heavy ass puck, dude.
Yeah. When you're a kid, it weighs like 10 pounds. Okay, it's like half my body weight. Like, you know what I mean?
It feels like it's a million pounds. Yeah, but it's like it's a pound at most.
You can tell, like, again, I'm the god at sports, but I couldn't do a wrist shot until like 7th grade. Like, it was difficult.
I wonder why 7th grade was the change for you there, buddy. Anything else going on in your life that strengthened your wrists?
Maybe. Let's ignore that. That never happened. Yeah, but I kind of gotta agree with Joey is that if you're not like into hockey at a young age, and if you're an alien coming in from outer space and just watching hockey like you've never seen it before, it makes no sense whatsoever. But if you can grasp it, if you can get a hold of it from a young age, like that's what I did. Aiden, that's what you did too. It's so much fun. Hockey is my favorite. I think hockey is my favorite sport. I can say that confidently.
Hockey is a lot of fun. And since we all grew up in it, we're kind of a part of that community. But it can be grueling sometimes because for soccer and basketball and football, well, maybe not football. But hockey is very much, you have a minute to a minute and a half where you go all out as fast as you can. You leave everything on the table. And then you come off the ice, you sit on a bench, and then you go back out in like a minute and a half. I think it's the only sport where it's all or nothing all the time because you get a rest after.
What? You're geeked. You're
I
geeked
don't
for
think
saying
that's
that. Yeah, you're
true.
geeked for saying that. Like
No, I think
basketball,
a
you're on
lot
the
of
court for like
sports.
25 minutes, and that's all you give it your all. At boxing,
Exactly. 20
you're in
no,
there
but
for
like
3
yeah.
minutes. You give it your all. Like it's you know
No,
what I
but
mean.
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. You don't get a break. Like you get the bell dings, but no one else can come in and take those punches for you. No one else is coming unless you get substituted out, right?
No, with
With
boxing,
hockey,
you
it's one
3
of the
minutes on, 1 minute off. That's a break.
yeah, it's a break, but no one else is coming in and taking those punches for you. It's not a team sport, right?
I guess yeah, hockey's a very big team sport. It's like what I would say hockey's
Yeah.
one of the most. It's similar to
Yeah.
basketball and soccer in the sense that you can't do it on your own. It's just not possible.
Yeah. And with volleyball, which is my favorite sport, you can't thanks for that, Evan.
Sorry.
You can get in official tournament rules and everything like that, official play, you aren't substituted off, but you do get several breaks. But there's no one else coming in unless you get substituted off. So I think hockey's the only one where continual changes is the norm,
I think
right?
like a lot of it follows the same cycle, and I think where me and Emmett are a little disconnected on your fact here is that most sports run like that.
Yeah,
Most sports run with like you going all in, knowing that you're gonna get a break after, right?
Yeah.
Hockey's very same in the same retrospect as football. Like exactly
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
breaks
yeah,
and
football
everything
you
like
go for
that.
30 seconds, you give it your all, and then you get a minute break. Like
Yeah,
I
I
can
would agree with
understand the
that.
thought process on hockey is one of the only sports that's like quick go, quick off, like on and off, on
Yeah.
and off. But I agree with Joey more on this is that Joey's just right. Yeah, every sport you give it your all, expecting a break
That's
at
true.
the end or some point. You know what I mean?
I think I'll change my stance to hockey is one of the only sports where um you are at a disadvantage where there's actual plays around making sure the team cannot substitute. Because I know of several coaches that are like, get the puck, dump the puck, and then change. There's a lot of plays around keeping the enemy team tired so they can't change while you're able to change.
Yeah.
That is a very common thing that you'll hear in hockey is, keep them out there, dump the puck in, chase it in their end, so that way they can't get a change off without being down a player in one of the most vulnerable spots you can be in hockey. And there's a lot more about keeping players on and rotating them around. Joey, you look like you're ready to
Yeah,
disagree
give us
with me
wait.
on
Yeah,
this.
I'm ready. I'm excited. What do you got to say?
Today must be the Aiden Kennis hate fucking
Yes!
episode because
I've been waiting.
football
I've
does
been
the
waiting
same
so
shit,
much.
baby.
Oh, here we go.
Football does the same thing.
Yeah, like
Substituting
nowhere
people
in
off because
football-
one of their players is tired, or
Yes.
fucking pushing someone into that spot so their other star player has to keep playing while you can maybe change it out for somebody a little bit worse and still win this play. A lot of sports do this.
Hockey's
Not
my
just
favorite
hockey.
too. Hockey's my favorite. I know it's not your favorite, but it's my favorite. But I don't get where this hockey meat riding has come from. Like it's not like the god
I'm
sport.
just
Canadian
I'm
meat
trying
rider.
to think of what one of the like unique aspects of hockey is.
It's
Besides,
the
'cause, like,
fact that you're putting knives on your feet and running around and touching a
Yeah.
puck with a stick. What are they like? That's such a weird sport. Whoever invented that has got to be on acid. It's so strange. Like most sports are like pick up a ball, put it in this basket. Kick a ball with your feet, put it in this hole. Golf, you can swing a ball with a club. Hockey makes someone's like, yeah, let's put some knives on my feet. Let's go on this really
well,
dangerous ice.
it started off as field hockey. Like
That's
you played
actually
it on a
really
field,
boring. I'm
where
gonna
you
cut that from
you just
the
had
pod. That's actually really boring. I don't want anyone to know that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's leave it in.
this disagrees my point.
Yeah,
I'm getting rid of it.
It makes me look stupid, so I'm cutting it.
I thought you were being genuine for a second. I'm like, dude, what is this?
There's a
Yeah,
little
it
bit
started
of
as-
genuine.
Yeah, it started off as field hockey and then turned into ice hockey. You didn't start on the ice.
Really boring, actually. I kind of wish it did start on the ice. That'd be way funnier.
You're just spreading misinformation.
There goes Joey again.
Bruh.
There he goes.
My
But he's
camera
no
always
longer.
does this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Joey's next investment is a new camera.
It's a
We're
better
gonna-
game. I got a better mic. You need a
Joey,
better camera.
get a new camera and keep the receipt. Keep the receipt so that
Keep the
years down the
receipt.
I got that
line,
shit. I got that
years
shit.
down the line, we can pay it back.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, so are you waiting for Joey's camera?
How do you
No,
think?
why would we wait for Joey's
So I
camera?
got a
Joey's camera takes years.
I got a question for you, Joey. So my favorite sport, hockey. I'd say boxing a close second. Aiden, volleyball. Would you say hockey's a close second?
So yeah, just because of how much I played it,
Yeah.
hockey's definitely a second for me.
Joey, you don't play sports too often. You grew up playing a little bit of sports. What would you say is your favorite?
Badminton. Frame
Really?
one, it's
Oh,
badminton. I
Badminton.
you
was
know what?
robbed
Badminton's
of
fun.
playing badminton in high school. I was robbed of that shit. I was so excited. I love hitting that stupid little, what they call shuttlecock into the enemy's
Oh.
front line with my little racket. I love that stuff, but I
Bro.
was robbed of it. But I
The
like
Curse
it.
of Twins. The Curse of Twins. I
The
remember.
Curse of Twin. That one's the different
It
one.
is. It's a
That's
different
the
one.
different one.
Sorry, Steven. I'm
They-
busy. Okay, anyway, sorry, Joe.
Anyway,
Yes, he's
and he's back. Well, he's back. So you might as well just start that segment again.
You might as well do this again. No.
That's fair.
Okay.
Just I think that's the high school sports experience. Is that there's one or two kids every year that are phenomenal, but they get cut out of sports because of parent politics. And I would love to touch on that when
Yeah.
talking about childhood sports. Parent politics plays such a it's
Oh,
so
I
unfortunate.
hate it.
I hate
Yeah.
parent politics. Like when
It's
we were
so
growing up playing
bad.
hockey, there was a few years where there was just no parent politics. Like I'd say our last 2 years of hockey were phenomenal.
It was fantastic,
It was
dude.
phenomenal.
It was
Every
great.
parent, like even if they didn't get along, they didn't say anything. None of the
Yeah.
kids on our team ever argued, and if we did, it was for fun. Like
Yeah.
we never bullied. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But years
Well,
before that,
there was bullying, but
yeah, but
like
it was
all
in
in good. It was in
spirit.
good taste.
It was
Yeah.
like he was bullied, and then a week later, we put the kid in the shopping cart and pushed him around. Like that was, you know what I mean?
I love how you knew exactly what I
Yeah.
was talking about.
I'm not gonna mention him, but yes, we did bully him, but we were also nice to him. You know what I mean? Like it was a give and take.
It's one of those older sibling things, right? Where
Yes,
it's
that's
like
exactly what it was.
he needed to smarten up, so you gotta bust his balls a little bit, but you still give him. It's a toxic relationship, when he tries to leave,
Yeah,
you're like, hey, no,
I'm
come back,
sorry.
buddy.
And I think that's what happened to you, Joey. Is it happened to Jesset? He has got the badminton build. Like he's just meant to play badminton. And yeah, he didn't get picked because some other kid who sucked wiener got picked. Apparently, that's just how the story goes. I don't know who the kid is. I'm assuming.
15.
Mine wasn't due to parent politics. Mine was due to the schedule came out right now. Oh, hey guys, we're shutting down the schools for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Long March break, let's go.
2 weeks.
Long
No way you
March
forgot about
break.
Yeah. Yeah, that affected me as well, but in a different way. Because going back to like parent politics or teacher politics as well, trying to get into school sports. In my elementary school, I didn't need to try to get into anything because I needed to play, otherwise we didn't have a team. That's how small my elementary school was. So I didn't have anything in there. And I was a local leaguer for hockey, so like the lowest division you could for life. So I didn't need to worry about making teams there as well. But in high school is when I first really had to try for making teams. I did badminton as well. Great sport. Joey, we should play sometime. Genuinely, we can book out courts. It's awesome.
I play. We could play pickleball. Pickleball is a good sport.
Not the same as badminton.
It's I agree, but it's fun, easy to get into, and it's got a high skill ceiling like badminton. It's fun, easy to get into, but the masters I like got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my first struggle with actually getting into a team would be high school volleyball. I just started playing volleyball in high school. I grew up around it, but never had the chance to play. COVID hit, so I wasn't able to be the junior year. And the first year I did football instead, where I broke my arm. And again, just enough people to actually make the team, so I didn't have to try out for that. Second year did badminton. COVID,
Yippee.
And then third year I tried out for the senior volleyball team for the first time, and I was god awful. We actually had a very good volleyball team. I had a good serve. I got told that by the coach, like, your serve's great, but everything else needs work.
You got one
And
thing,
so-
boy.
Yeah. So and the problem was too, their practices were in the morning. So it kind of worked out well that I started in my third year, because otherwise I would need my parents to drive me like 20 minutes in the morning to drop me off for practice, which was not happening at my house. But and then so I'm able to drive myself. I try out again. Practice every single day for an hour at least for a year until the next tryout comes. I joined a league. I started doing everything I could volleyball to get any experience, and I come back and I start trying out again. My last year of high school, and everyone's giving me compliments. Like this isn't like a Reddit thing where I'm like, oh yeah, everyone thought I was so cool. It's like no, genuinely, people came up to me that I didn't even know the name of. It was like, dude, you improved like a lot from last year. I'm like, thanks, man, that means a lot. So anyway, I go up. I do everything pretty good. I still need a little bit of work, obviously, because I'm not at the level of other people, but I definitely could be an asset. But I at the end of the tryout, she gives me a look and says she writes something down on her notepad, the teacher who's running it, and I'm like, sweet, this is awesome. A week later, the list comes out. I'm not on it, but on the list says, Aiden, see me in classroom, please. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Uh-oh.
And there was other grade 12s that tried out, and they didn't get this invitation either. So basically, she brought me in and was like, everyone pick out your numbers, all that. I'm like, sitting here, I'm like, okay. The list doesn't get passed to me to pick out my number. And everyone else leaves. And then she said, Aiden, you didn't make the team. And I saw everyone else there. It was mostly like grade 12s, and like it was an even mix of grade 12s and grade 11s. And she's like, you didn't make the team, but you could be manager. I'm like, what would that entail? It's like, well, you'd be able to go over the games, but you can't play. You could help with practices, but you couldn't I'd basically be throwing the ball at them.
That's boring. That's boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And for being able to drive, I would then have to ditch my sister to then go to practices in the morning where I never got to play.
That's
Yeah,
awful. That's like you
that's
don't even
messed
get to
It
up.
sub in.
No, never. I wasn't a substitute. I
Bro.
wasn't nothing.
What's the
I could
point?
only be
Yeah,
I could
what's the
only be on the team as a manager. It would be to get general volleyball experience. However, with it being my last year, I'm not. I don't have another chance to play high school volleyball. So I said no.
Yeah,
I looking back on it, I kind of wish I said yes, but it wouldn't be fair to my sister.
It wouldn't
there's
be
that.
fair to
But
you. Don't even say that. It's not even fair to you. You just get to watch the game. Bro, what are
Yeah.
well,
you talking about?
I gotta help out. I gotta help out in practices. It would have been my only view into formal volleyball because I've kept up with it now, but it's been like grandma sport basically, where I just join a local league and play. But I've never practiced. Like I never had a formal practice. It's always just been games.
Still, you
Yeah, I
can in
think
your meantime, you can do
that's what I'm
practices rather
saying, yeah.
than watch your other team that you're not really on.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I just wish I was more involved. I had the opportunity, and she was nice enough to offer me a spot, and she saw my improvement because there were other grade 12s that didn't make it and weren't in there, like I said. So she saw my improvement and knew I cared. But it's like, give me a spot like a substitute. I don't care if I never touched the court. Let me be on the
There's
team,
gonna be
you know?
times where
Yeah.
kids can't make the games in high school. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
bro, come on.
Yeah,
Biggest gold
yeah. So
star. Like
that's
you did a good job, buddy. Like, are you
yeah.
serious? Go kill that
That
teacher.
was where
Go kill
I
that
think that's
teacher.
where the politics came in because there's a lot of grade 11s that never touched the sport before, but she
Yeah.
just kept them there because she liked them better. And I know you need a team for next year, but with how many people tried out, there was no reason why she wouldn't have a team for next year, and I couldn't have maybe had a spot on the substitute team as a pinch server or something because she recognized how much I improved, but was like, nah, you
Yeah.
can be a manager.
I think that's like even I experienced that in hockey. So in hockey, you played local league every year, but I
Yeah.
played rep. I was an every other year kid. Which again, we're in
Mhm.
we're in whoops. We're in C Center, lowest division. Okay, we're in C Center, lowest division, and you literally can't get any worse than that, other than like the grandma sport.
Red
But
circle.
yeah, not even red circles. Sometimes really good.
That's a fair point. That's fair.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, I played rep sometimes, and there was like it rep was even more. I was never great when I played rep. Rep was like where the good kids from the small town went, and I wanted to play hockey to play hockey and hang out with my buddies. And I stopped trying out for rep. Like I'd say my last 4 years of hockey, people asked me to play rep, but I just kept saying no because my buddies weren't on
Mhm.
rep. It was
Mhm.
fun to play rep. It was good. It was more competitive. It made me a better hockey player, but I didn't enjoy it as much as just going out and hanging out with my buddies. And I think that's what you should keep in mind when going to do sports. Like high school, you didn't make the team. That doesn't mean you can't have fun playing volleyball. Same with badminton, Joey. Like that doesn't mean if you were really interested in badminton, you could just like if you loved it, you could sign up for a league, right? Like it's not about com- competing. It's not about being the best. It's just about the love of the sport, and I think that's an important
Yeah.
thing for
Yeah.
I want to instill that if I ever do put kids in sports, I want to instill that into them is like, hey, you're not there to win. You're not there to like dick on other kids. You're not there to be the best. Like just play, bro. Just play the game. It's a game at the end of the day. It's a
It's
It's a
game.
game. Yeah.
And that's one of those things where it's really easy to look back into retrospective because I was a very competitive kid. I wanted to win. I put every practice, I put everything out there. But I also love food, so I was never able to get that good. But I really did try, and it's really hard to keep in mind like it is just a game. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but it does. You know, losing that championship game is soul crushing, no matter what you do. Even
Yeah.
if you're like, it's just a game at the end of the day, it hurts. But it's also good because it gives kids a way to like process those type of emotions, defeat, failure.
Mhm.
Because if you have a kid that only experiences wins and gets whatever they want, you're making a douchebag, right?
Yeah.
Sports does a great job of balancing kids out, I think. Because, well, if you are the shit, you find out that you're the shit in sports because you're just that good, right? You know, I'm sure like Ronaldo and Messi have a skewed perspective on themselves because they were just the goat, you
If
know. But
I think an important thing to touch on is the when you put a young kid into sports, it's the ability to listen to someone else that isn't your parents. Like when I was a kid and I went
yes,
into sports, my parents said, "Hey, you have full permission to treat him like he is your own kid." And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. But I did have one coach. I remember we went to a tournament and we were picking on one kid and it was rep hockey, so he was my rep coach.
yeah.
We picked
So I
on
wasn't
one
there.
kid, and you can imagine who we were picking on. Um,
Yeah.
so when I picked on him, he yelled at me. Like it stunned me. I was like, "Whoa!" I think I was 12, 11 or 12. And yeah, I held back a minute. I'm like, "Man, maybe I should actually smarten up, be kinder to other kids. Like it's not the Emmett show anymore. Like lock back in."
Mhm.
I think that's an important thing to touch on, as well as what you guys said about, not being the shit all the time. I think that's so good for
Yeah.
kids to learn.
Mhm.
I hated my coach. I absolutely hated my coach. He would not let me talk to the ref for the entire game. That's all I did
What
was either
sport was
pick
this?
flowers.
Well, yeah. Wait, what
You went
I
to
sport
was
is
a
this?
kid.
football?
I was a kid, and this was soccer. So the
You're not
refs were
supposed to talk to the
volunteers
ref
on the
ever.
side. Yeah. So picking flowers or talking to the ref was my thing. So
Oh.
I would go up to the ref and I'd be like, "Hey, man, what you doing?" And I'm like this 8-year-old kid. He's like, "You should go back and play, dude. Like you'll have some fun." And I go, no, they can do it without me. They'll be fine." Yeah, I didn't like my, coach because he told me to stop talking to the referee, and I said, "No."
Yeah,
I
I will
couldn't
take it
stop
back.
him.
Like you definitely talk to referees in the sports because I remember talking to the refs in hockey, and
Yeah.
it's just.
Mhm.
I also remember refereeing hockey and how they will talk to you, but sometimes you need to kick them out for what they say to you.
I still like I refed in hockey this it's gotten so much better from when you refed. Like there's so
Oh
many
yeah.
rules now saying like, hey, if a parent yells at you, you have full permission to just kick them out. Because back when you and I started, parents could just
Oh
wail
god.
on us. Just wail on us. And we were like
Yeah.
16, 17. Like, bro, leave us
Yeah.
alone.
I don't know how parents do it. I
Again,
mean I don't know how refs do it, right?
I
Like
that's another problem with
I,
little league sports all in general. If you're a parent and your kid gets beat at the sport, let him get beat, bro. Let him get beat. Like I go to a hockey game with my little brother. They put him on forward for the first time, and he's just getting bodied over and over again. And Dad's like, "Raf, you're like he's freaking out," and I'm like, "Bro, let him get beat. He's in the wrong sport at the wrong time. He's got to learn."
yeah, it's just like some of the things that they would just yell at you as a ref. Like I don't understand how people referee anymore. I re- I had experience where when I was refing. little kid was skating. This is like the lowest league you can go. He looks at me as he's skating beside a kid, looks back down at the kid, looks back up at me, and then just throws his entire body into the kid and slams the kid into the boards where hitting's not allowed in this league. And then I call the penalty on him. And he's like, "Why'd you do that for?" I'm like, "Dude, you looked up at me, looked back down, and killed the kid." So this is such a low league that the penalties in this area are actually just they have to sit on the bench for an extra period. And I told this to the coach, and he said like, "Oh yeah, so he just has to sit this shift." He didn't understand it on purpose, where he was trying to get around the rules because this was their best kid. That dude was so into it. These kids are 6. And he was yelling at me at the end of the game. I had to get walked out to my truck by the official, like the guy who runs the entire league, because he was scared for my safety from how these parents were acting towards me. That's how bad it is to be a referee.
It's ridiculous. Parents need to take a chill pill. Let your kid get beat to a pulp. If he sucks, he sucks. I don't know what to tell him.
Yeah,
I
basically.
played hockey.
Yeah.
I got bodied so hard I couldn't get back up, and like I didn't complain. I was like, well, should have kept my head up. But I had to learn because my parents didn't show up to those games sometimes, and nobody got up and was like, "Ref, you're stupid." They just looked and like, "Oh man, what a stupid kid." And they're like, "Whoops."
Oopsies.
That's great.
Jesse,
Like,
I'm in the
I think there should be some like
Dude, how many people are gonna
closure
walk
rules.
into your room? Jesse, get the fuck out.
The crash out of the century. But we'll keep talking while this goes on in the background because this is
So-
awesome.
Yeah, I
But,
want like we're talking and then
I
it
think-
cuts to me like
I know. I think it's really stupid that refs have to be protected like that
Mhm.
after a hockey game. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
should never have to fear for your life because somebody's pissed off at the call you made. I get being angry. I get maybe losing the game. I've had a couple hockey games that I was forced to go to, and that it's like, oh, you fucking got it in, and oh, no, they called some bullshit technicality on you. You didn't get it in. And yeah, I get a little bit, like, I get the frustration behind it. Or you have to be escorted out to your car as a referee because some parents are pissed off. Look at it, you might be drunk, but get real. It's a game.
Get real.
Get real. That's so real.
Stupid.
Yeah, I think we've touched a lot on parent politics. What do we say about moving forward onto what counts as a sport?
That is a
Sure.
good question. And from a small town, that debate came around a lot.
Well,
we had
baseball, soccer, and hockey, and you played those. If you didn't play those, you didn't play a sport. That's how it
anything.
was.
Yeah, anything wasn't a sport compared to that. So I want to talk about one of the biggest ones that I've ever had is dance a sport?
I think dance is a
I
sport.
think dance is
I
good
think you're
too.
doing a lot of bodily movement. Like, it has to be really precise. That's like how you get graded and evaluated. So I think it's definitely a sport. There's a lot of movement.
Yeah, if we're gonna count swimming as a sport, dance is a sport too. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's a fair point. What about this one's gonna be touchy, but personally, baseball. I don't think it's a sport for anyone but the pitcher and batter at that time.
Baseball is a very touch and go sport. I'd say
Yes.
it's ball was touched. Now give it your heart for this 5-second play.
Yeah,
And
but there's
then
also
we take a
games
20-minute
where
break.
there's also games where they're perfect games where a no hitter
Nothing
touches the
happens.
ball.
Those games.
So the entire
Really?
Yeah. Baseball
That's
can
dumb.
be just watching an infinite loop. That's
Yeah.
why you drink lots of beer when you watch baseball.
Yes.
You go to the stadium,
That-
you pay $600 for 4 cans of beer. It's awesome. Big fan of going to the baseball stadium at least once a year.
So I think for any like lower league, baseball is definitely a sport.
Yeah.
But once you get up to like the major leagues, it's barely a sport. Because
it's bad.
I will say though, it is one of the hardest things you can do is to hit a pitch, like hit one of those pitches. The average batting for those guys is like 0.3 out of 100 or 0.3 out of 1, right? So it's like 30% of the time they make contact on the ball
Yep.
when they come up to the
But
plate.
you got to remember, they're throwing it 98 mile an hour, and you're
Yeah,
standing there with
miles.
nothing but a club hoping to hit
Yeah.
that ball. Like,
It's actual
scary.
caveman sport.
It
You
is.
got your
Yeah.
dung dung.
So it's a very difficult thing to do, but is it a sport?
I would
Like,
Yeah, I
still
think it's still a
consider it
sport.
I would
You're
still
still
consider it.
running. You're still having
It's a
fun.
game.
Pro League might not be fun, but it's
Yeah.
a sport.
You're
Yeah.
still keeping score. You're rooting for someone to win. There's teams. It's a sport.
Yeah.
What
something
about
bluebirds?
chess?
It's a
Chess is
mental
definitely-
sport.
It's definitely a
Just a
game.
disconnect.
It's
Yeah.
It's
And
a game.
if I were to put my kid into like a sport, I wouldn't do chess because they also don't get the sense of like teamship there, right? Like
Yeah.
they might have clubs, but they don't have a sense of like camaraderie, right? That's why I also wouldn't like put a kid into golf as their only sport early on either. Like you just don't get that sense of camaraderie that you do as team sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would
I think
consider
it's different.
I would consider chess a game. It's a competitive game, but I don't think chess is a sport.
Mm.
There might be some mega nerds that come after me and be like, actually,
That's gonna be me.
okay, take me up in a game of soccer or baseball and tell me that you can.
Joey, why is your why do you think chess is a sport? Because you were just saying that's gonna be you.
I think like you have to kind of look at sports a little bit differently. Sports is like exerting some function of your body to like produce a result almost to exert it past its normal threshold. Chess is to the point of it's not physical. I'm not running at the chessboard unless I'm a crazy guy trying to stop the game, but I'm exerting so much mental force 7 moves ahead to what my opponent's gonna do
Only 7?
that it's
Come
a
on.
mental
Steps ahead.
sport.
I am always 2 steps ahead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still not agreeing with that. In hockey, I
So-
gotta think 7 steps ahead. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta plan.
So
I
for the
think so.
Google dictionary of sports is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment.
I don't think chess is entertaining. I don't think there's any physical.
That's personal. That's personal.
No,
You've never seen Queen's Gambit? This
I
guy's never
did
seen
not like
Queen's
that
Gambit.
show either. I tried to get into it. I did
didn't
not
watch
like
it.
it.
You
I
didn't
think
even
the
watch
physical exertions part is what's stopping me from chess because I don't think lifting up a piece.
Yeah.
So,
Unless-
but that also
Unless if you're
That-
like
but, like,
Smeagol build, like your Golem
the-
from Lord of the Rings, like you gotta that would be a heavy thing to lift.
But the thing is, too, to counteract my exact point I just made, the average chess grandmaster loses about 500, like, burns up 500 calories in, like, a game or, like,
Can I-
half an hour.
If I learn to think really hard, is that a sport? Is there competitive thinking?
Well, here's the thing. No. Are you against someone in that, right? Because there's a referee, there's parameters, and you're trying to beat someone else for entertainment because it's a spectator sport for some people, right?
Competitive thinking. Someone hooked my brain up and Joey's brain up to a machine, and they said, "Who can burn the most calories by thinking?" Go. Would that be a sport? Would
Slap
that be?
boxing is considered a sport, and that's basically what
I'm-
that is.
No, boxing
gonna
is
have
not
to
like
be-
that.
Slap
I'm gonna
boxing.
blow your mind here, Emmett. And you might have to
Please do.
cut this from the podcast. You actually will have to cut this from the podcast.
So why am I cutting
That
this from the
burns
podcast?
calories.
Can we?
Why-
Can we
that-
ask
because-
that information?
I want that in
This is what people need to know. This.
Is this a
People need
democracy?
to- they
Do we
need
get
to
to keep
know.
this in, Aiden? Democracy vote?
If
Yeah.
Joey doesn't want
You're right.
it,
You right. Unluckily.
okay. But anyway, however, I think a sports, like I think all sports start out as games, to put it frankly, and then sport comes basically with the viewership. If people are watching it, if people are into it, I think that might classify it as a sport eventually, right? So, like, I would say that if there's enough people that like it and want to call it a sport, it's a sport, right? Doesn't matter what the actual definition is, it's the people's definition, right? I think that matters way more. So if people want to call
we got
chess a sport,
I don't know. I think chess is. I still disagree with that, but we got 2 on the list here that I want to take a look of: cheerleading and marching band. What do we think
Mhm.
of those as sports? Again, I agree with your definition of if majority rule, would majority call chess a sport? I would still say no, in my opinion. I still think most
Mhm.
people would not consider chess a sport.
Mhm.
But is cheerleading and marching band a sport?
See, that's difficult because cheerleading is based off of dance, right? Like it has many, but it's also to help another team. You're not really competing against anyone, right? There's
Yeah,
no competition there.
there's no ranking unless if they are ranking and competing. Because then would
There
that be a
is.
sport?
There is
Competitive
like
marching
competitive
band?
cheerleading. Competitive cheerleading. Cheerleading is more like gymnastics and dance mixed into one. Marching band, I think, is completely off the list of being a sport. I don't think that
Unless
that's a
if you're
sport. I
competing.
think it's music.
Unless you show up
Yeah,
to the
there
once a
are.
year marching band meet around the world and we get like Mozart rises from his grave and he goes, "Who's the best marching band?" But he's actually deaf, so he can't pick.
That's Beethoven.
Because that one felt good.
Mozart. That's Beethoven.
I forget. You might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Mofart. Um,
No, Mofart wrote so many, but he died when he was 17 because no matter what he did, he was writing down music.
did Mozart die
Mofart.
at
Ain't that the guy
17?
who
He died young.
wait.
He
Isn't
died
Mofart the
crazy.
guy who fixes my car?
He died
I
at
take it to that
35.
Mofart shop.
Where did
What
you
the fuck
get
am I saying?
37? Where'd you get 17 from?
35.
I thought that's when he went crazy and died.
What
Did he
are
have
the
17
odds
crazy
are
symphonies?
at
deaf?
17 and
Did he have
died.
17 symphonies?
I don't know.
Are you basing this off of Hamilton?
No.
Okay. I've never seen Hamilton.
In Hamilton.
I've never seen
He had
Hamilton.
This is
41
dead.
symphonies.
Okay, this is
That's a
terrible
lot.
for the pod though, so we gotta cut this.
Yeah,
This is
let's
like
get-
personal information.
Moving
Side
on.
tangent.
Side tangent done. Moving on. Should
Yeah.
every kids play sport? I say if they can play sports. Again, not every kid is able to play sports, but if they
Mhm.
can, or if they have a want to, push them into it. Like even if they don't
Yeah.
want to begin with, at least try a year or two. Learn commitment, learn practice, learn camaraderie. Like I think those are important skills to teach humans.
Great team building, great way to show that you can be competitive in an activity with a group of teammates. Show that like you can handle defeat as a person, show you that you have to show up to places on time because these people are counting on you to be there for them. It's a great thing for kids just all around. I think it's pretty great. Unless your kid is heavily disenjoying it, in which get them out.
Yeah. Again, though, try at least a year, at least one.
Yep.
I definitely have to agree with that well. And even if they don't like sports, something just get them into a club or into literally anything that involves other people. Just to
they
give
need
them an outlet, right? Because when you're in school, it's the same people. When you're at home, and when you're at like, you need to give them an outlet to meet new people. Because school's great for that, but at a certain age, you already know a lot of people, or you know everyone, and you have that. If it's negative, you're not doing great. So if you enroll them into a sport where it's different people, you give them a chance to have a positive outlook or a positive outlet. Sorry, where they have where they're able to do something that they enjoy with people who also enjoy that. They're not forced into anything, right? Like with school, you're forced into work. At home, you're forced to do chores and all that stuff. When in a club or a sport or an activity even that you enjoy, and there's somewhere being held that you can do that, I'd recommend just putting a kid in anything involving something that they enjoy.
100%.
Ooh, I have something I want to talk about. I do remember a sport that I had a lot of fun. I went to go vote as of late, and where they did it was the old what was it? It was that old arena. Do you remember it, Aiden? It's that old arena in my hometown.
Oh yeah,
There's a yeah.
I know.
So in that arena, they used to run a whole whack of different sports. Me,
Joey,
my cousin,
you
and my
cut out. You cut out.
oh, me, my cousin, and my brother went and we played this sport, and it was foam archery. They give you a bow, they give you an arrow, and on the end of this arrow is attached a big marshmallow. So you get these strategies of putting barriers up and you're trying to shoot people from across the gym. That has to be one of the most fun sports I've ever played.
Oh, yeah.
I'd count it as a sport
Yeah.
all day, but that in its essence is a sport. That was fun.
That shit's
learning
goated. We gotta do that.
teamwork. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That shit's goated. I love that for you because I saw that stuff on Instagram, And another sport that I want to talk about it's come like recently. It's more popular in Germany. It's called Jaeger or Jagger, Jegger.
I think that might be Jaeger
So
still.
yeah, so
Mhm.
basically, it's a combat sport where it's capture the flag style, and you're only allowed to have a certain amount of. You're only allowed 6 people, and each one has to pick a class to play, where they get either a sword, 2 swords, a shield, a mace,
Oh, is
a
that
bow
this
and
super
arrow.
nerd sport? Let's go. I love
Yes,
this
it's
one. What's it
awesome.
called
It's
again?
fucking great.
What's it called?
Jaeger,
Yag.
J-E or Jagger,
It
something like
looks
that.
really fun, but you would
Mhm.
never catch my ass playing it. But if
Yeah.
it was widely accepted, like if it was like
Uh,
hockey, I would probably be playing that shit. That
Yeah,
looks awesome.
because it looks awesome, and like you have someone has their base. If you get tapped, you're down for 30 seconds, then you're allowed to get back up after. But basically, they're only allowed a certain amount of weapons, and then you have to go grab the enemy's flag and bring it back to yours. And it's a whole sport about it, and it's awesome because it's just basically medieval combat. I think that's one of the coolest sports that's like not mentioned at all, and I want
Yeah.
us to see that make a come up.
When did it get invented? Speaking of cool sports that aren't mentioned, banana ball. That shit goes crazy.
Banana
Oh yeah.
ball.
It's
Yeah,
basically
banana balls.
baseball, but they get rid of all the rules. So pitchers can just strip down naked if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They just
They
try and
basically
make
made it.
baseball as
Where?
fun as humanly possible. Like you know how Aiden earlier was saying baseball's like the worst sport to watch. They
Yeah.
basically
That
took
was you
that.
saying that, by the way.
They did I say that?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is. I'm gonna stand by my opinion. It's the worst sport to watch. Unless if randomly one day it's like 11-12 in a really close game, but that's a 1 in a million. Banana Ball basically just said, "Hey, what if we just started doing shit? Like every time there's an out, they all get on, like they all start doing a synchronized dance routine. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. You gotta,
Yeah, they
look
made
stuff
it.
in it.
They made a. Yeah, look it up. Play a clip maybe, but they basically just turned what WWE did to boxing is what Banana Ball is doing to baseball right now. It's just the entertainment factor, but the games are still real. But there's a hard time limit, and if someone ever gets balled, like where they take a base, every single player they changed it. So instead of just taking a base, every single player has to touch the ball and then throw it home. Once the ball gets thrown home, that's when the player who got balled has to stop.
The
So
faster you
it
can run, the
adds
better it is.
basically, yeah. So it just made baseball more entertaining, which is awesome. Another one of those like niche sports that don't get talked about nearly enough.
100%.
George, you got a niche sport?
Me?
Yeah.
I gave out that niche sport. I gave out the foam archery. That was a pretty niche one.
Oh
I
yes, yes.
played that
Yeah,
once. I
dodgeball
played
archery.
that
It
once.
was fun. It's super cool.
It's really
Mm.
I admit.
cool when you shoot an arrow and you can catch it. Like you catch
Yes.
someone's arrow and you go.
That's super cool.
Oh my god.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
It is.
it's great.
You start
Great.
loading up 3 arrows at a time like you're Hawkeye and you just shoot them across the entire
It's
gym.
pretty cool.
It's cool.
You're armed and dangerous at that point, right?
Huh?
Armed
Uh,
and dangerous.
Armed and
Dangerous.
bleep this, but Rudy,
We had him as
Van
a
Maswell.
coach.
No.
Van Hooydonk.
Yeah.
We
We
had
did.
him as a coach.
Van
So
Hooydonk,
one
yes.
of
A
your
little
hockey.
touched
We
on
had him
that,
as a
but
coach.
I'd like to.
Really?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you
just
weren't there.
remembered that I
It
got
must
one
have
of my
been when
hockey
I was
buddies,
on rep.
and I want to
Ream-
bring this up. Yeah, he reamed me out because basically it was a championship game. We made it basically as far as we could while still playing in our we're playing in June.
Oh
Like
wow.
we were playing very far. And it was like one of those all-star games. And basically what happened was after the game, I played terrible because we had like 2 weeks off where I didn't practice anything. And we all played pretty bad. But I remember having one moment where like, this is really cool that we're doing this. And it's because I was playing defense and I skated the puck up, but I'm really slow. So I passed it off to someone else. But we beat all the other teams. So all of us are ahead of the other team.
And you passed it?
Yeah, because I passed it in front of some other guy, but then I skated past him after, right? So there's 5 of us in front of the enemy team. We're on a 5-player breakaway, which I thought was like, hey, that's really cool. And then we lose the game pretty badly.
Yeah.
And then we go back into the dressing room, and the coach was pissed. He was upset. because he knew we had it in us. We just weren't playing our best. He knew we could have won that game. But anyway, he's talking about how many mistakes we made, and then he gives it a second after saying them, and then he starts talking about. And then there was this one play where there's a pass, and all of you started skating down. I'm like, I get a big smile on my face. I'm beaming like that was my play. Let's go. It's like we're done being, ripped apart. This is one of the good plays. And he said, I have never seen anything like that ever. It was the stupidest thing ever. All 5 of you? What if someone turned it over? What if the goalie saved it and shot it down? They could have scored easily on that. And my smile dropped.
Oh, you were I get it now. You were defense up with the forwards.
Yes, I was defense up with the forwards. So I wasn't protecting at all. Luckily, it didn't get turned over. But there's 5 of us all skating down when at most you need 2, maybe 3 if you're being greedy.
Most, and you keep the 2D behind for ready for a pass.
Yes, exactly. So we were all at the goalie. And I thought I did one of the coolest plays ever, but I just got reamed out for it. And that one hurt for a little bit.
As a goalie, I'd be shaking in my boots if I see 5 people from the enemy defense coming up right to me. I'd be quivering, bro.
I had a bad moment in sports too. It was hockey. We were in Silver Stick. It was a final Silver Stick game, international Silver Stick, mind you. And we ended up getting second place. We lost the game by 1 goal. We pulled the goalie, and our other defense was tired. And mind you, I'm not the best defense, but I did get MVP that game. When I was a kid,
you're reliable, is what you are. You're reliable.
I was alive. So we it was 6-on-5, and the rule basically is when you have a pulled goalie, everyone just clump in, bro. Just get in there, overpower them. Me being a dumbass, I'm a defense one, so I'm like, my goalie is pulled. I gotta back up. I gotta make sure they don't score. And for the whole 25 seconds I was on, they're just yelling, Evan, get in there. You're open. Get in there. And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not gonna go in there. Like, what if the puck comes out? And after the game, my coach took me aside. And he's like, I am really mad, but I'm not gonna yell. He's like, I think you know what you did wrong. And after the game, I was like, yeah, because literally everyone came up to me. It was all 5 people that were on my line. It was like I did something wrong in an army base. They're like, you're stupid. And the next guy walks by, you're a dumbass. Like, okay, I get it. Like, by the 3rd guy, I got it. The other 3 didn't have to say it, but it doesn't matter. It was funny. I learned a lesson. It made me a better hockey player, but got MVP that game. I think they gave me MVP because they felt bad. But I embroidered it on a sweater and wore that shit around like I was king of the castle. It was awesome.
Awesome.
I also want to touch on a little bit of later on in hockey, where I had some good moments as well. We had the same coach as Emmett for the last little bit.
Yeah,
love them to death. There are 3 brothers, and they knew us. They got to know us, and they were local league coaches. They didn't compromise their integrity for a win.
Yeah,
they stepped to their guns. They stepped to their plans, and whenever the rep kids were yelling like, "We gotta do this, this, this," and just like they knew what they were doing. And yeah, we lost, but I respect them for sticking to their guns. I just want to say that I really appreciate them because they made me captain of the team multiple times in a row.
That last year, you and I got to be captain for the
yeah.
Was awesome.
We split the C.
We did. We split the C.
It was great. Yeah. And me as a kid, I was not confident at all. I didn't know how to do speeches. I didn't know how to rally people behind me. But they knew I kept my cool and didn't let the game state affect me. And I always gave them my all. Right? If we were down 5 points or 1 point, I played the same. So I really respect the coaches for giving me the C there, because it really let me grow into the person I am now. And I think they honestly understood that I needed that, because I was a shy, reserved kid who never had to make decisions in my life, and suddenly I'm the captain who has to talk to the referee, who has to do all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I had to call a play or 2. I had to have this team of people who are objectively better than me, and I had to lead them and rally behind them. And sometimes I had speeches where they were coming out cheering after. I had one. I really appreciate those coaches.
They were so good. we had kids on our team that you wouldn't expect to listen to us. And at the start of the year, there was definitely pushback because I totally agree. They were
Yes.
better players than us by a mile. We were not the
Yes.
best players on that team. But at the end of the year, like I said, I think we got super lucky with our team, like our parents and the kids. Is the fact that they just understood. They're like, yeah, Emmett and Aiden are not the best players, but you don't see them getting in fights every game. They're not taking stupid penalties. I think the biggest thing is that we were consistent. Like when you and
Yes.
I were on the ice, you knew exactly what was going to happen. There was never a chance where they're like, "Oh, that was so unlucky. I can't believe Emmett or Aiden did that." That never happened. We got on the ice, we did our job properly and well, and we got off. Right? Like
Yes.
we never we weren't crazy. We weren't crazy good, but we weren't crazy bad at all. And I think that's what
Yeah.
we also I think we just got along. A big thing also is that we got along with everyone. We weren't mean. Like
Yeah.
even the kids that were quote unquote mean on our hockey team,
Mm.
like they stopped being mean.
Yeah.
They stopped. I
Yeah,
don't know what happened.
there's yeah, it was genuine like male taking the piss out of each other because like there's be some guys like, oh, your sister, dude, so hot, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, buddy.
Then it just stopped one day. It just stopped.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
weird.
and, yeah. There was also some like weird pregame stuff. Like we always played Shania Twain, "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" before like every game
Another
That's
big
or
that's a
after
good
a win.
time.
A big thing that helped is that we were captains, but we didn't do anything. Like, yeah, we did the speeches, we did the talking to the refs, but we didn't get up and be like, I'm team leader. I you fart when I say, like, you know what I mean? It
Group
was
leaders.
we
Group leader.
yes, we were captain, but other kids on our team brought in the music. Other kids on our team played center and got to say who they passed it to, right? We had other kids on our team said, "Hey coach, I think this kid should be on." You know what I mean? It wasn't we were the captain, but we weren't like really captains, but we were the captain
Mhm.
in all practical. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
weird, but it was good.
Whenever you needed to say officially, this is captain. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
But you know, the best coaches learn how to take good info from other people. They know how to use people to their strengths, and also know when to tune out people when they're being devious.
True.
Devious. I have so
It's
many
the last
friends.
1 minute. Put me on, coach.
Yeah, no, buddy. No, you're not going on. You're gonna go
Yeah.
kill that kid.
Yeah. I'm sure we could sit here for another 30 minutes reminiscing about hockey, but I feel bad for Joey.
Yeah, Joey, you played soccer because you're Portuguese
Yeah,
and stupid. Um,
I'm not either of those,
Well,
but
I
yeah.
hate soccer. I played soccer for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I played tidbits, like the little league soccer. I always hated
Yeah.
soccer. I never understood running around chasing ball. Every time I play soccer, I get kicked in the face or get a big whiplash from trying to kick something and I fall over. So
No,
what is your experience with your lovely soccer?
I had a terrible experience with soccer. Soccer was pretty cool. Like, the sport itself is interesting and everything like that. I didn't grasp it. My grandparents came out to every game that I'd played at. Our thing was you get a goal and then I don't know, we cheer you on, we take you out somewhere afterwards.
Oh, that's
I'm defense. I ain't getting no goals. My brother, he got a goal. That's great and all. But worst part about it, I couldn't even get into it if I wanted to. After the first game, after the first practice, everything was great. Everything was fine. Second practice rolls around. It's on one of my parents' week to take me in because my parents are divorced. So the one has to take me in, and then it has to, like the other has to pick me up. Takes me in, goes to my game and everything like that. The one to pick me up was an hour late to picking me up and went, I was at the wrong one. I was at the wrong field. And this is stupid. I hate this. I ain't doing this again.
I'm just
And
not.
they didn't.
They
And
did.
they didn't. They didn't do it again. They didn't pick me up. They didn't take me to practices. So it's my other parent coordinating with the coach going, yeah, he's not going to be there for this one, but he'll be there for the next one, maybe the next game. So I only got about half the team bonding and
Right.
about zero of the skills because none of it will stay with me for 2 practices a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
a
was pretty
big
I
bad.
also did want to, yeah, I wanted to bring that up too because it's just for sports, like, oh yeah, it's such a great thing to do, but like you gotta realize too, it's not on the kid to get themselves there. It's on the parents.
You really that's a
And
big
some
thing.
parents can't do it.
It's a very big thing. Sports are a time sink, and honestly, like they're so expensive. Hockey is ridiculously expensive. It's
Yeah.
gross. It is gross how
Mhm.
expensive sports have got. But they market it towards being so important to child development, which it is. It is. Sports can make or
Mhm.
break a kid's childhood. But the ability,
Mhm.
like you guys are saying, is that parents have to make the time sink. Not every parent wants to, let alone can.
Mhm.
Like there's so many
Yep.
kids who I'm sure could make it to the NBA or the NHL or the show baseball,
Yeah.
if they were given the chance, but they'll never make it because they have a single
Mhm.
parent or no parent or a sick parent or a parent who just don't care.
That yeah.
It's the sad reality
Yeah.
of sports. There is an evil
Yep.
side to
And
sports.
yeah, and I know personally there's been a couple time where I can't make it, but that's when I was already like developed into the sport and I knew everyone who was in on my team. And that's when you just say like, hey, can you take me? Because they're a trusted parent. But when you're just starting out or can't start out, it's very tough. Like I've taken you a couple times, Emmett, and you've taken me and you figure it out. But that's because we know each other. If you are trying to get into a sport and you like you can't get into it because you have no one to take you, you don't have the chance to know the people, and you don't have a chance to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Like
even
there's ways around it once you're in it, but it's just hard to get that started.
There was
Yeah, exactly.
my dad always tells me a story of his buddy who lives really close to where I live, and he would bike 45 minutes on a bicycle to play soccer every weekend. He was like he did it from like 10 years old to like 16 years old. But again, it's his
Mhm.
parents paid for soccer, or maybe he paid for it himself. He like picked up a summer job and paid for it himself. But that's such a rare case. Like you're not going to catch no
Mhm.
8-year-old doing that. You're not.
No,
No.
It's
you
and if
shouldn't expect
by
that either.
the time
Yeah,
you're
you should
10
not
and
expect
11
that.
and your conscience actually works and you're like, man, maybe I want to play soccer, other kids are already leagues above you that were like given this opportunity to play from a young age. They were given that.
Mhm.
And you've
Mhm.
seen it, you see it all the time. And sports, I think sports are really good, but I'll say it again, they
Mhm.
can be evil, they can be clicky, kids can be cruel, parents, other kids and other parents can be so cruel. There's a hidden evil side to sports that no man should ever experience, but sadly many kids do daily,
Mhm.
daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we were saying, our last couple years of sports,
Yeah,
fantastic,
but
amazing.
that was
Off of
only
COVID.
yeah, that was only because our parents paid for our hockey and they took us to the
Mhm.
hotel games and they
Mhm.
paid for our hotel rooms and our team
Mhm.
lunches. And you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
not every kid gets
and
that.
Mhm.
and the thing is too, like we had good years, but we also had bad years. So when you're doing all of that, taking all that time and money into it, to then get a bad team or a bad coach that you hate playing with,
It happens.
it's risky. It happens and it's tough. And then also like the physical danger of it too. I have broken so many bones doing so many things. I broke my arm in football, which was really funny because it was similar to like, oh, I went to the wrong place. My parents said, I'm like, that's all right, and I told them like, yeah, the game's basically over. It's like, oh, then you can just take the bus back. As I'm sitting there with my arm in my hand after it got broken, as I'm on the phone, it's like, no, it'd be pretty good if you could still come and pick me up. I just don't want to go back to school. It's like, Aiden, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Just come pick me up, please.
Why wouldn't you tell them that you broke an arm? Why
I
would you not
didn't want them to freak out. I didn't want them
But
to
They
freak
were
out.
gonna
and try
freak
to-
out
they're
regardless.
gonna freak out more by saying, no, please come pick me up. I
I
don't want
was
to take the bus.
I was 14.
I do
was
not care.
14.
I do not care. You break a bone and your parents are halfway there. You say, I just broke my arm. No big deal. I'm not crying in pain, but I cannot take the bus home. End of conversation.
Yeah. When my mom got there, she saw me. Was like, she said, "I fucking knew it."
I
As
fucking
I'm sitting there with my
Yeah.
arm in a sling. So I didn't say for any time. It was just one of those embarrassing things where, like I said, didn't have the confidence.
No.
I just didn't want to tell her over the phone that I broke my arm again because I just got off of something in grade 8 where I broke my arm. And then I broke it again in grade 9 at the beginning of this.
Oh.
So I had like 2 months where I wasn't in a cast.
Dude.
It's ridiculous.
What is with you? Why are you so
Yeah.
fragile yet so rough
He's
with
He's
your
not
body?
fragile. He is just devious. There's many. He's not fragile.
Look,
He's clumsy. There's a difference. There's a
That's
difference.
I've known
true.
many. Well, what happened was I was on the D line and I went to go block like this, and there's your issue right there.
Yeah, see, that's not something you do.
No, it's not. You go like this. I went like because
Get
I was
over here.
daydreaming at that time, and then I hear the whistle go, and I'm like shit, and then I brought my arm up.
You telling me
Stop.
you broke your own
Ooh.
arm probably from the force that you put up. You definitely broke your own arm. No, my God.
Bro looked at the opposing team like the
Wizard
Oh.
day.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but I've also known people to like break their collarbone, legs, many a things from anything that happened. I think it's good for a kid to break a bone. Yeah, it's one of
I've
those life
never.
experiences.
We are gonna
I've
clip
never.
this, and it's gonna sound so bad. You do not ever say it's good for children to break a bone. I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing to break
Yeah.
bones. I think it's like a good thing to get a couple
Yeah,
scrapes
a
on
good
you,
thing
but
to.
like
I
you
think
don't
it's
need to go
yeah.
as far as
I
a
totally agree
bone.
with that, Joey. It's a good thing to get knocked down and get
It's
back up.
character building.
Yeah, that's
you're
what
getting knocked
they
down
would
and you get
say.
back up.
That's what my parents
You
said
get
when they
knocked down, you
spanked
get
my
built
butt.
back
Like,
up.
are you joking? It's character building. No, it ain't.
And you said you would spank your kid's butt too. So
in
you
a
know
life
what?
and death situation, I would like if they like you know what I mean? We talked about this. You know what? We'll make a parenting episode soon, but we'll
No, we should not make a parenting episode.
Three
Three
white guys who have three unmarried white men make a parenting episode.
That would actually be a banger.
No.
That might be a banger.
No.
That might be a banger. The show is called Something Objectively Stupid. Is that not what we are?
You're right.
It's
You're right,
parenting
I
something
suppose.
objectively stupid.
No, but our parenting tips would be like
I'm leaving that kid as soon as
that ain't mine. I agree with Joey. Getting
anyway.
back on topic. Breaking a bone for a kid, not good. If it happens, that's fine. You can get back up. But like, you definitely want to teach your kid if he falls off his bicycle, that like cry it out, but you're okay. Like, get back on the bike. Not, yeah, you gotta break your bone on this one. Like, what are you talking about?
Look, I think it's one of those things where you realize like I'm not invulnerable. I'm not
But I'm not invincible. Like the show.
Right, like, yeah, I was doing stupid shit. The first time I ever broke a bone, I tried to jump off a slide so I wouldn't get tagged. I'd rather break a bone than get tagged.
I think there's a special niche of kid that just pertains to you. Like if I was in tag and I saw someone coming for me and it's like I can either jump 50 feet off this playset and maybe harm
50
myself,
feet, calm
or
down.
I don't care. Like it's either like man I can.
It was
jump and
6
maybe,
feet.
I don't care. It's like I'm 2 foot nothing at 7 years old. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh man, this
True.
guy's coming to tag me. I gotta jump and I know it's gonna hurt, but I don't want to lose that bat. No, bro, no.
Well, what happened was my
man,
boot got.
You say
it was
misplayed.
winter time.
You say I misplayed. I'll be a man and I'll take being in tag because I'm
Fuck
stuck in a position
no.
that I put myself in.
I couldn't tag anyone. I was slow as fuck. I was not taking that risk.
I don't care why. I remember you doing this, and it's not I jumped off a slide. I know what happened. You went.
I jumped off a slide.
You were top first over the slide, and you went face first down. It was not a jump. It's
so what happened?
I'm gonna lean forward over it and fall into the snow.
What happened was I went to go jump, but since it's winter time, like you just said, my boot got caught, and I flung into the slide, and I stood there. Hung there for a second, looking down as my arms are out, and then my boot let go, and then the kid came up to me and said, "You're it."
I mean,
Nice.
deserved. Why did you do that? Like, there's a slide. Why not just
didn't-
go down the slide?
Because I did go down the slide, and I was halfway, and I had to jump because he was waiting for me at the bottom of the slide.
Halfway. You were not halfway. Your
There
ass
was two
was
people
maybe
in.
an inch down that slide. Your ass was maybe an inch down that slide.
I was halfway.
Saw it.
It's one of those. It's one of those swirly curve slides.
You just got past the opening. You just got past the opening. Your ass was not even facing where the tether ball is now. You were facing the brick wall. Like, that's how close you fell off. I was like, bro, what is this? We were playing tag that day, and I was like, bro, what just happened? Like, what is this? Like, who does
Oh.
this? That was my initial thought. I'm like, who the heck jumps? Who does this?
Yeah, one of Emmett's first impressions of me. Who
It
who
was.
fucking does this?
We were in like
There's like two
kindergarten,
different times.
first grade.
There's two kinds of people. There's the high IQs and there's the Aiden Guinness. I'm not gonna get it during tag IQ.
Or like again, the motorbike
Look, you
story
guys
is
just-
really funny. You can't say you can't say that it's you're like
You
you're
guys
clumsy,
just aren't
you're
committed.
clumsy.
You're just not.
I
You're
don't
not
think you
committed
know
to the
character
game.
from this experience either. I don't
I
think
think
you
I
learned
built- I think-
anything.
You
I think
built
I had some pretty
playing
good character
Sly
building.
Cooper in your basement for
Yeah.
2 weeks. Like I don't know what you're talking about. That's not character. I broke a bone. I did the same thing. I just played Elden Ring all day. Like there was nothing else to do.
But sidebar: Sly Cooper is the goat. Fantastic
Never
game.
played.
I played way too much of it.
How many bones did you break as a
Bet.
kid? That might have a correlation.
None from playing Sly Cooper, but I did have my brothers sit behind me because the ending of the game is really funny. Where it's like, "Hey, you did it! You beat the game," and it says, "Now go outside," and they would look at me like, "Yeah, go outside, Aiden. Do something."
Nice.
Now go outside. What a good way to end a video game.
It's
It
great,
is.
honestly. A kid's video game.
Speaking of ending video games, what do we say, guys? We wrap it up.
I
Any
think
final
this is
words?
it.
Are we going
Yeah.
outside?
I
I think
think it's
playing
time to
sports
go
is good.
outside.
I think playing sports
I'd
is good
agree.
if you
Outside.
can. If you have the opportunity to, go for it. Definitely try it out. You're gonna suck.
Mhm.
You're going to suck.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because you're there for the sport, not to be the best. Like we said earlier, not always possible. Not always possible. You could be in a wheelchair, you could have like some form of disability, you could have parents that hate you. It does happen. I think
Mhm.
it's important that if you can go to sports, do it. If you're at home by yourself, you're 14, you're like, man, I want to do something. Join a school sport, join a club even. I think Aiden, you mentioned that. Join a club, do
Yeah,
something.
do anything.
Something, anything. People like you. It's weird to say that, but people do like you if you meet the right group. It's
Yeah.
That's what it
It's
is.
weird to say people like you.
people do
Damn.
enjoy your company.
Damn.
Yeah.
Someone is
People
writing
eventually.
big
If you
cock
throw your.
boobs on our paper, I'm pulling this up. This is our
That's
cheat
right.
sheet,
No!
and someone's
No,
gonna
no,
put
He's
some
helping us.
boobs.
We gotta hear.
We
Thank you
gotta
guys.
listen.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and
Like and
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Comment your
Don't
favorite
forget.
sport.